The end of the season of the hunt is finally upon us. We have helped Uldren, who now calls himself Crow, find his place in the world with becoming a guardian. We have lifted his employment with the spider, helped him get out of that situation. We have found the Hawkmoon gun, led the Crow to the Traveller, and helped Osiris deal with the loss of his best friend, his ghost, Sagira, and he has now become a mentor figure to the Crow. At the beginning of the season of the hunt, there was a narrative preview in which Ikora told Zavala what Sagira's very last message to her was. In regards to Osiris, Sagira warned Ikora that Osiris is not as strong as he thinks he is, and this prompted Ikora to ask Zavala to take Osiris on as his advisor, his right-hand man, to help him out with the wars to come. And it would seem that with the season of the Chosen, as caiatl, or caiatl, however you say her name, as she comes to the system to rally what's left of the Cabal, Osiris's wisdom and his influence is going to be very greatly needed. Hello world, my name is Jade, otherwise known as Scarlet Rebel. I am a little bit pressed and I hope that it doesn't come across that much on camera because, again, I've already had my technological issues. The reaction that you're about to see for the trailer for Season of the Chosen, I accidentally just did not save the audio file for it, so even though my microphone's hooked up, once again there's not going to be any like clear crystal audio with the reaction. Hopefully this all works out and you can still hear me crystal clear right now, but yes, I'm going to show you my reaction to the Season of the Chosen trailer. Something to bear in mind is that I was waiting specifically for my partner Tristan to get on his break at work so that we could watch the trailer together, so if it sounds like I'm talking to someone, I'm talking to him about the trailer as we're both reacting to it. But without any further ado, I'm just going to play the reaction for you, and then afterwards we're going to talk about my kind of immediate thoughts in regards to Season of the Chosen, so enjoy! Ooh.
The darkness crowds the edges
yes, it
of
is.
this system. The
caiatl
heart serves it. You'll fall to one, if not the other.
Oh.
I propose an alliance. With my army and your light, the Cabal will crush the Hive.
Oh.
Bow.
No.
No.
Yeah, I didn't think so.
Empress Caiatl has emerged as the new face of their empire and demanded I pledge loyalty to her.
That's some nice armor.
This tank is like a living thing.
I like it.
She breathes.
Strike! Just strike!
And she will spit out your bones.
A bow! Yes! An exotic bow! Classic strikes return. Oh, is this? Oh, Civics! Saber! That's my favourite one! It's my favourite strike. Battleground activity. Crush their champions. Ooh. That's got... Yeah, it had an Osiris symbol on it though. Oh, Trials weapon.
We need you, Guardian. Be our champion.
I'll sharpen my gilded knife and see you both on the battlefield.
Oh.
There's no light here.
What? Was that the Black Edge? That might have been the Black Edge. So that was the trailer and it looks really cool. I will say, and I've said this in videos before, that I'm not like the biggest fan of the Cabal. They're not necessarily like my favorite enemy race type, but I do find them interesting, and especially now that caiatl, who is Callus's daughter, is in the mix, it seems like she's going to be really interesting and a really formidable enemy, and it doesn't look like our, main goal is taking her out, so she could just kind of stick around and be a really good antagonist for the Guardians and for the Vanguard in general. So it's going to be really interesting. It's going to be really cool to see what happens over the course of the season. So now what we're going to do, when it comes to new seasons, Bungie always tend to put out a little website, a little page on the website even, that talks about the season itself and goes into just a little bit more detail, kind of lays everything out as far as what to expect. There is. Great Yoda impression, Jade. So we have Zavala's lovely mug right here. He's looking very pressed, and we have caiatl in the background. She just looks violent, which you would expect from the Cabal, but I enjoy this seasonal art very much. I enjoy the seasonal art in general. I like how there's always a character focus, but I like how it's Zavala, you know, looking like he has this sense of duty and weight on his shoulders, and then obviously the antagonist for the season in the background. I think that's just very, very good. So here we go. Story: the new Empress. With the pyramids and Zivur Wrath destabilizing the system, Empress caiatl, which caiatl? I think it's caiatl. I'm going to say caiatl from now on. Empress caiatl, leader of the Cabal and daughter of Callus, seeks an alliance. But when she demands more than Zavala can offer, negotiations collapse, and Guardians must become the tip of the spear that strikes at her growing war council. So yes, she looks fearsome. She looks absolutely incredible. I love her character design. They always nail the character design. I feel like with Cabal, it would be so easy for them to just smack tons of like Roman inspired like armor and just be like, okay, there you go. But no, like, look at her. She's got the tusks, she's got the gold and the armor, but it still looks like battle worn. It's good. It's really cool. And obviously we saw in the trailer that, you know, caiatl basically wanted the Guardians' fealty. She wanted them to look at her as a leader, which, I mean, good on Zavala for saying no to that. When I was reacting to it with my partner, he said that, you know, made him have a lot of respect for Zavala, and I know that opinion of Zavala has kind of been, I don't want to say waning, but like, he's definitely not had the kind of presence and the kind of, okay, I'm the Vanguard commander, these are the decisions that I'm making, in a while. A big part of that is obviously Cade's death after Forsaken. Zavala definitely receded quite a bit. During everything with the Almighty, during Season of the Worthy, he was a little bit more present. But a lot of that, like I said in my Season of the Worthy review, which I'll leave a link for somewhere on the screen and down in the description, it definitely felt like he was basically just like, oh no, we can't do this thing, and then someone convinced him otherwise. I'm glad that in this season it seems like he's getting more of a kind of like leading presence. He's the one saying, no, I don't agree with this, and this is what we're going to do instead, in the best interest of the city and the Guardians and the people here, and etc, etc. So this is really interesting. I'm very, very curious about this. Welcome to the Helm, the HELM. Designed as the ultimate Vanguard staging ground, the spaceport provides the resources Guardians need to face the most powerful of incursions. Here the war table has been set. Meet with Zavala, acquire the Hammer of Proving, and orchestrate an honourable victory. I've already looked at this. I'm going to check something real quick. No, okay, so the Hammer of Proving is not the seasonal artifact. So I wonder what the hammer is. It might have something to do with whatever the sword that caiatl took out in the trailer was, where it's kind of like one champion against one champion, and whoever wins, wins. Again, it was something that Trist, my partner, said when we were talking about it. A battleground is where one champion goes against another champion, and whoever doesn't die wins. So the battlegrounds kind of activity plays into that, and it definitely seems like whatever this Hammer of Proving is, it could be a token, it could be a symbol, it could be caiatl's way of knowing, okay, this is the Guardian that Zavala is sending against my forces, so that's the one to beat. In general, it just looks so cool. It reminds me so much of the Vanguard table from Destiny 1. Oh, back in the day. I just want to get up close to it. I want to see what all these animations on it are. I want to know, you know, what the helm actually is. Like, how are we going to interact with it? What is the interface? Like, what do we go to the table to get? Is it just going to be set dressing? I guess we'll see. And then we have the new activity, Battlegrounds. The fallout from the failed treaty has resulted in Cabal forces taking up arms on multiple destinations, prepared to defend the glory of the Empire. In this 3-player match-made activity, Guardians will engage in ritual combat against caiatl's chosen warriors. I'm excited to see what it is. It's a 3-player activity. Is it going to be a arena type thing? Is it going to be like the sundial? Is it going to be like a strike? Are we going to be going to different places? Is it like the oh god, what was the activity in the European aerial zone? Is it going to be something like that? It's hard because we don't have a lot about the battlegrounds yet, and we won't really know about them until we jump in. It seems, unless they give us like a sneak peek trailer closer to when the season drops next week. So yeah, I'm curious. I want to know what the replay value is. I want it to be the kind of activity that I'm like, I want to play this over and over, because I didn't really feel that way about the Wrathborn hunts. They were cool and I liked them, but it wasn't like the Sundial. It wasn't like, I want to play this all the time, I want to get the gear, and it's satisfying. So I hope that the battlegrounds are like that. They are satisfying. And then we have some Vanguard strikes. We have 2 returning from Destiny 1, and then we have a brand new one which is called the Proving Grounds. I think adding a strike in during a season is a really, really good idea. I think if they can manage it, this is something that Bungie should do. The strikes are really cool. The idea of having this like big mission that you have to undertake that isn't just like a new activity or a quest line during the seasons is going to add to the kind of flavour of the world, make it feel a little bit bigger, a little bit more like dire, like the stakes are high. So the Proving Grounds is that the champions of humanity face the champions of the Cabal to determine the fate of the last city. And then we have the Fallen Saber, which is from Rise of Iron, I believe, and the Devil's Lair, which is a OG classic from Destiny 1. I'm excited about both of those. I really am. The Fallen Saber, as I said in my reaction, is my favourite strike from Destiny 1. I really, really liked it, and I can't wait to see the story updates, who's going to be talking to us, if there's going to be any parts of the strike that are different, if they're going to be true to the original. And I also wonder which version of the Sepix Perfected soundtrack are they going to have on the Devil's Lair. Is it going to be the bopping, rocky one from Rise of Iron, or is it going to be the one that we all know and love from the first Destiny? I'm really excited. And also the Fallen Saber is going to be really interesting because we don't know what's going on with Rasputin, and the whole point of the Fallen Saber was that, that's the thing, rush to the aid of the AI Warmind Rasputin as he broadcasts a plea for help across the system. Maybe the strike helps give us a little bit of an insight into what's going on with Rasputin, because obviously it doesn't look like he has actually gone down indefinitely like it made it look at the beginning of Season of Arrivals. Or maybe it's a retroactive kind of thing where this strike is technically set before that happened, which I really hope that's not the case. So yeah, I guess we'll see. I'm just very, very excited. And then this is very interesting. So this is Exotics and Gear, a Champion's Armory. So we have the new exotic bow, Tiku's Divination. Charges multiple solar arrows that can track solar targets at once. That sounds baller. Umbral engrams sound exactly the same as Umbral engrams from Season of Arrivals. We've got the weapons and ornaments that we're going to see more about in the season itself, and they all look very similar to the weapons as far as the aesthetic goes. I don't know about the rolls or anything like that, but they all look very similar to from the Leviathan raid and from the raid lairs. What I want to talk about is this right here. Exotic Quest Redacted. This is the Tex Mechanica logo. This is the Tex Mechanica logo. Tex Mechanica is related to The Last Word and Shin Malfa and Jaren Ward. It is also related to the First Curse, which is The Last Word's sister gun. So is this the First Curse? Is the First Curse going to have a little bit more of a darkness aesthetic to it, because all of this background here is very darkness-like? Is it going to be something similar to Lamina, but again with the power of the darkness instead? Is Shin Malfa going to come back and be like, I told you you were supposed to walk the line, you weren't supposed to go fully into the darkness, even though, you know, the Stranger's whole point is walking that line and using the darkness for good. So I don't know, is Shin Malfa going to come back, and are we going to learn more about what's going on with him and Callum Sol, and is, you know, his whole trap paying off? Has he found Guardians who have taken stasis and have done terrible, terrible things with it? Is this going to have anything to do with him at all? Is it just going to be about the First Curse and something else? Is it going to tie into the Cabal? It might do. I don't think anyone was expecting Hawkmoon to tie into Uldren, but it did. Which it probably will. It might tie into that. It might tie into the Vala. At the moment, it's giving me Shin Malfa vibes. It really is. Not just because it's Tex Mechanica, but it's Tex Mechanica and the darkness in the background. Shin's all about walking that line, and, you know, post Beyond Light, if this is the second season that we're getting, it would be the best opportunity to have this character who was so firmly like, you can be the Grey, you can do both and do it well, to come back and give his take on everything that's going on. I think that would be really cool. Then we have the seasonal artifacts, the Bell of Conquests. Used to celebrate the triumphs of the warrior who carries it, the Bell of Conquests increases your power every time it's upgraded. It's the seasonal artifact. We all know how the seasonal artifacts work. And then the armor. I don't hate this armor. The only bit on the Hunter that I don't like is the helmet, but I know people who would go crazy for a helmet like this. It is really, really cool. The Warlock stuff looks nice. The Titan stuff. This is the best DLC for them to take the Titan armor and just put Cabal stuff on it. Make those Titans chunky. Do it. It's what the fans want. It's called the Perfectus Armor Set, which is a pretty dope name. And then we have the seasonal rewards here. This looks like a finisher. This is a pretty cute looking ghost right here. I do wonder what that's going to be called. And yeah, the ornament for the exotic. And this thing right here, which I don't know what that is, but it looks like something being held up. It might be a callback to the hammer that we're going to be getting from the helm thing, or the knife that caiatl had. So I guess we'll see about that. That looks pretty cool too. So then yeah, the last thing to talk about is the seasonal roadmap, which looks about the way you'd expect it to look. You've got some iron banners thrown in there. Guardian Games is coming back. I wonder if they're going to do anything different with that this time around, because I didn't play the last one all that much, which was a shame. So I wonder if there's going to be anything more with that. It tells you when the new strikes are back, when the old strikes are back, and yeah, it tells you when everything's available, which is really cool. Not much more to say about this except for the fact that it doesn't have the release date of the mysterious exotic quest, the one with the Tex Mechanica symbol, so I guess we'll see when that comes back. I wish there was a little bit more information, but I do kind of like that they're pulling back a little bit, because I do remember that being a critique that they got from a few of the players, that every time a season came out they knew exactly what was going to be there and there wasn't really a sense of mystery. So I think that's what they're going for. This is like, okay, this is everything we've told you is going to be in the game, and that's all we're going to tell you. We're not going to give you any jump starts and any mysteries, which I guess is okay. But yeah, this is serviceable. It's a nice roadmap. I love seeing a roadmap. Yeah, Jade Chadwick 2021. Love seeing a roadmap. Love seeing a roadmap. So yeah, that's everything to do with the page on the Bungie website, and there's not a lot for me to talk about because, like I said at the beginning, I'm not like a huge Cabal stan. I'm excited to see what comes out in terms of narrative previews and the lore in the game. I'm excited to see how caiatl works, how she thinks. I'm excited to see the new strike, all of the new things. I am the most interested in that weird exotic quest that has the Tex Mechanica symbol on it. That's the thing that's like piquing my interest right now. But otherwise, I'm just excited. I'm just excited for a new activity. I'm excited for new story. I'm excited for new things. I am really curious to see how Osiris is going to be dealing with all of this and see what his role in all of it is. And also, I didn't realize this until I got onto Twitter, but I think, and people are speculating, that it's actually Crow who is stood next to Zavala in that bit where caiatl has the sword and she talks about meeting them on the battleground. First of all, I love Crow's new getup. He looks so much better than being in all of that spider garb. And one thing that I'll say, people have a million critiques of the seasons, right? They really, really do. One of my favourite things about this seasonal model, and I don't think Bungie got a lot of rep for, because they never do, which is a shame, is that the seasons, they said, they made a strong statement in Shadowkeep. They were like, this is how we want to do the seasons, and they have nailed that. And what they said was that they wanted every season to run on to the next one. They wanted the stories to be separate to each other, but they wanted everything to have an effect, so it wasn't too jarring, I guess, and they've done that perfectly. And you can definitely see that they hold that very strong and they keep going with that, because caiatl and the Cabal is something that's been hovering for a really long time, and after Osiris lost his ghost and now has become an advisor or like a second hand to Zavala, he is a part of the decision making process with all of these things, and seeing Zavala say, no, we are not going to bow to you, it's really cool to see Osiris taking more of a, basically being the NPC that we all wanted him to be in Curse of Osiris. We wanted him to be there with us rather than just be on the comms all the time. And then the very, very last thing I wanted to mention before I finish up this video of just initial thoughts is that when I saw this part of the trailer, I thought that this was the Black Edge. That was my very, very first gut reaction. For those of you who don't know, the Black Edge is something that Callus talks about. He defines it as being either like the true darkness or the end, the very edge of the universe or something like that. Again, I don't know that much about Cabal lore, but it's something that is very definitive about Callus. He found the Black Edge, he found the end or the darkness or something like that, because he talks as well about how no one else knows what's coming. He says Drifter doesn't know, Mara doesn't know, the Vanguard don't know, no one knows what's coming, but I do because I've seen the Black Edge. So that Cabal ship that looks very similar to the one that we saw at the beginning of the trailer, being in that space, if it is the Black Edge, whatever the Black Edge is very, very interesting. My partner pointed something out in that it could be the rings of Saturn or Jupiter. Baby, I'm sorry, I can't remember exactly what you said, but it could be a planet in our solar system as well. But with Osiris saying there's no light here, no matter what, it's a very interesting place for a Cabal ship to be. And I also saw another thing on Twitter that alluded to how the Cabal were stealing Scorn on the edges of the system or something like that, or by the reef or something like that. So what are the Cabal doing? What is caiatl doing? What is the plan? I really, really hope she sticks around as a threat rather than like us killing her at the end of the season. That wouldn't make any sense to me because she's literally just been introduced as a threat. So yes, that ship is something that I'm very curious about, especially the fact that, and maybe this is just editing that they did for the trailer itself, but it looks like it's got an effect on it that makes it look like you're seeing it through a screen. So it might not even be that we're going to the Black Edge or we're going to wherever this ship is. It could be something that we see through a screen during a story mission or during the strike or something. That would be fucking cool. That would set up this idea of the Cabal using the darkness or going to the darkness's side, which maybe they wouldn't, but if they got desperate they might. Or maybe it's like caiatl has had dealings with the Hive and had dealings with the darkness and she knows what happened to her father, so she's trying to avoid that, and that ship is like a remnant of that. Who knows? Even though I'm not like the biggest fan of the Cabal, I'm still really excited for this season. I'm excited to see what the story is, to see what the story does, to see what happens. And I wasn't obsessed with Season of the Hunt, so I really hope this season, even though I'm not a Cabal fan, I know I'm not going to be obsessed with it, but I just hope that it has that really satisfying gameplay grind that I can just lose myself in, similar to Season of Dawn and Season of the Undying. I'm just really excited. I'm really excited. And that's all for this video. Thank you for listening to my kind of initial thoughts on the season of The Chosen. Safe to say I am excited about it in spite of everything. Thank you for watching my reaction at the beginning and dealing with the technology problems. It's something that I'm hopefully going to be working on this year. If you enjoyed this video, if you enjoyed my thoughts on the season or on Destiny as a game, feel free to watch any of my other videos on this channel, and if you watched all the way through this one, it just means a lot to me already. Consider commenting, liking, subscribing, all that jazz. Links for all my socials will be down in the description as well. I'd recommend following me on Twitter because I tend to talk about Destiny the most on there, especially give my opinions and react to news, especially things like narrative previews, and lore the most over there. So yes, thank you so much for watching. I hope you all have a wonderful day. I hope you enjoyed Season of the Hunt, and I hope that Season of the Chosen is just as enjoyable. And I will see you all in the next video. Bye bye.